I do have some good news.
Okay.
I got
Let's hear it.
one of the cars running.
Rory,
Ooh.
yesterday morning I heard an engine and I turned to the cats jokingly and I was like, boys, it's Jesus. He's risen. And then I looked out the window and I saw the Lotta go by and I was like, oh, let's go.
Well, so the Lotta was never not running. The Lotta has oddly remained running.
It was so nice
initially.
to see it again.
It was just hibernating.
I did rip it up the street, and there were some young boys playing basketball in their driveway, and they gave me the light 'em up sign, and we did light 'em up and get it pretty sideways coming back to the house.
Nice. Let's go.
Which was nice. But the more important thing is the F-150 is off the list of my non-running cars.
Hey.
Let's go.
Drove it.
Teal Team Six.
And it's actually like I got it. I got it running a little while ago, earlier this week, and it wasn't running right. I've never done a distributor before on a car like the F-150. The problem is, and the reason I think I knew it was the distributor pretty early on that was causing this problem, but I was afraid to pull the distributor out because then you have to reset the timing, which is kind of a magic thing to do. And I don't want to do it. So I did every other conceivable thing that it could be. And then I bought a distributor last year and just sat on it. And I did not install it because I was like, maybe it's magically it will fix itself. But I finally yanked the old distributor out, put the new one in, which involves like turning the engine by hand to get it to top dead center.
Yeah.
Which also involves sticking your finger in the spark plug hole with the spark plug removed and feeling when the car is making a poof or when it's trying to suck your finger into the piston. Luckily I have huge fingers that do not fit into a spark plug hole. So yesterday I was, there is on most Fords, and this is a very common Ford problem, but on most older Fords, there's a solenoid on the inside of the hood, under the hood, that it fires the starter. So yesterday I pulled the distributor apart and put a screwdriver on the solenoid to jump it, so that I could get the engine turning without actually being in the car. You find top dead center anyway, then you can when I took out the old solenoid, this is a good edit for you, Maddie. When I took out the old solenoid, you're supposed to mark it a certain way so you can tell how to put the new one back in, which I fucked up. So I ended up like 4 days running the car on different bad timings where it was like huffing and puffing, making all kinds of noise and like super unhappy. Yesterday I got it to a place where it runs and drives and makes decent power. It's not right, but it's close enough. It's moving, it operates. So we're moving it off the list, and we're going to pull the Willys into the shop this weekend.
Exciting.
Hell
So we're making moves. We're crossing things off the list.
Rocking and rolling.
Which I will say, I went for a long drive in the F-150 last night. It was a very cathartic experience. I had not driven it much. I didn't drive it much last year. I drove it a few times in the spring, and then it crapped out due to the distributor thing, and then was kind of mentally distracted early part of last year with all the Gizmodo and Jalopnik things that were happening, and then obviously like went right into like panic mode on the Lotta. So the F-150 just sat in the yard for a year, which usually it's like gets babied. It lives inside the barn in the winter and doesn't drive in the snow and like doesn't get any sun on it. But it was really nice to take it. I drove it out through the woods. Did some two-tracking last night before bed, and it was really nice to get it ripping again. So yeah, we're on. Hopefully we will have three down. The 3 non-functioning cars will be on the road this summer. and then I can sell them all and sell the shop, sell my house. Which actually, it was funny because I was joking about that. I wasn't joking about it. I was kind of.
You can sell them then you can buy some more stuff.
Well, I could buy some time living in this house would be what I would be selling them for. Unfortunately, would be the equation there. But but yeah, they got to run before you can flip them. So there you go.
Cool.
But yeah, very excited. It's fun to get a project running. Fun to have an F-150 to drive around in.
Hell yeah.
It really is a nice truck. It really does all the trucky things. It rides like a truck. It makes V8 noises. It's slow and it's uncomfortable and super bouncy. It's like hard to keep centered on the road. I think the alignment's bad, but it really is deeply satisfying.
What's the on center steering? Like I remember, my old bandmate, Exit House bandmate John, he had this killer like 75 Blazer for years. I mean, and this is like 20 plus years ago. But super sick, and I drove that a fair bit. But the thing with that car that was so funny was like the steering. Like you could turn the steering wheel like literally like a quarter turn in either direction.
Yeah. No, this is
before any like
Oh boy.
I've had that experience.
I've
had that experience before. It's very relaxing on the highway because you're like, you can put a little bad input in here and there. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about it. But also, the flip side of that is like the truck is like constantly wandering. It's like you're always
just
kind of like
it around.
Yeah. I mean, you get used to it, but
Tank controls like it's Resident Evil. Good God.
Yeah.
No, this one's pretty tight. I mean, it like I said, I think the alignment is off. The steering wheel is a good like eighth of a turn to the left to go straight. But it drives. It's pretty tight. Like the steering actually works. It really was like a very well cared for car for most of its life. But I have have new fenders for the rear. That there's like a couple little tiny rust spots on the like the upper part of the rear fender opening. So I'm going to cut that out with a grinder and weld in some new patches to make it totally rust free.
Nice.
This summer, and totally unnecessary. That's a project that I also like. I know that project is going to end up being like a 3-month situation. It's like it just has that feel,
Are you gonna do the paint yourself?
Oh yeah.
Let's hear the report. Scene report.
Well,
New York Auto Show.
Should we introduce the pod first?
Sure.
Okay.
Pod is tired. The car podcast for people who understand that cars are bad. My name's Peter. I'm joined by my friends Rory and Maddie. And Rory's going to tell us about the New York Auto Show.
It was bleak. It was the saddest ever trip to New York on every possible front. I got there so I left the house at 2 a.m. And drove to Grand Rapids. Actually, God. So I got up at 2 a.m. and I had somehow like misjudged the how long it takes to get to a place app, and so I left the house at 2:55, which once I got in the car was like, oh, you're going to be there at what is that, 4:20 something, 4:27 or whatever, and my plane is supposed to board at 4:30, and so I fucking hoofed it down there and took 35 minutes off my ETA. So I got there plenty of time to walk around and get a cup of coffee and chill at the airport. Yeah, it was, and then I flew, got to New York at 8 a.m. and went straight to the Javits Center. And I was like, it's early. That's why there's no one here, right? Like, there's going to be people here eventually.
You beat the rush. You beat the rush.
Yeah. So I was like, well, it's good. I can take a couple pictures, and get really close to some of the cars or whatever.
So now, was this? I'm sorry to interrupt. Was this a press day or was this?
Yeah. So this was the
open
second
to the public
press
day.
To be fair, second day of press, and it had been the day before was like all the big reveals. So I assume it was much busier the day before. But man, walking around in there for a few hours and just nobody ended up showing up. I think like it, maybe a few hundred more people showed up. And I would say the ratio of like people who worked for the car companies or were on staff getting paid by a car company to be there was like 2 to 1 with journalists. So there were probably twice as many, PR/product representative people than there were journalists. So it was bleak. I did see.
Well, it's great. It's great for you because you get access. It's like small classroom size. And
exactly
it's like taking an upper level seminar class or something.
Yeah, it's kind of bad because usually at those shows I like to scan around and see like people who I don't want to talk to and avoid them. Right. But when you're one of like 5 people there, there's just
they're all just looking around trying to find anybody that's not them.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's like beep 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 beep. Oh, there's Rory. Get him.
But I actually did get to catch up with some people who I really wanted to catch up with, which is nice. And then I got to see the Kia K4 hatchback, which looks fucking rad.
Yeah.
And got to see the Genesis WEC / IMSA car, which is rad. And the really wild Genesis concept, which is like a very long-nosed SUV. Did we talk about this already?
We talked about it last episode. It's the Gran X.
We talked about it before I had seen it, though, right? Before I'd seen it
in real life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks as wild in person. I would say the proportions are much better in person than they are in the photos. It looks there's like I don't know.
I think it looks cool in the pics even. I mean the only kind of weird thing about it is that front end with the kind of just the light blade just going across completely featureless expanse.
Yeah. It does have a little bit of what I call a dog head, which is when a crossover looks like a dog's head. Have you never noticed that before? Where there's like a very long snout and it goes back to the. But it's better in person. I think it's very cool. The interior looks awesome. Certainly like the thing to see at the New York Auto Show, which there just was not a lot there. And then the Subaru Outback, as Guy guessed, far less SUV-y in person, very more wagony.
Okay.
Certainly extremely butch. I mean, the big flat front end and like it slab sides. I mean, it's a much more butch version of an Outback, but like I said, was definitely like closer to big wagon than SUV, I would say.
I did run it by some butches I know, and they were all sort of despairing. They did not like the new styling, so sad to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. It looked interesting. I think like I said, it was very more wagony. I do think like it is a huge departure for Outback, but we'll see how it does. Like we said last episode, Subaru seems to have no problem moving cars these days. So, yeah. And then I left for a lunch in Manhattan, and when I came back at 2, I was like, okay, there's gonna be some people here for sure now. And it was worse. It was more empty.
Bummer.
Like crickets.
When I left.
No.
And I was like texting people like, are you still here? They were like, no.
Man.
We all
We
went
bailed.
home.
We bailed.
Yeah. So they bailed hard. And so I went to met up with Doug Saunders, and then went to the Classic Car Club Manhattan, which somehow I'd never been to.
Yeah, I've walked past that place. I've never been inside of it.
It's cool. It's like it's a big warehouse, and it's like got waterfront like decking, or like what do you call it? Like a patio kind of situation where you can eat outside. Had some really cool cars, member cars that you can. It's like a country club, I guess. You like buy in, and then you can like earn points to take out certain cars. It's like if you're living in the city, and it's obviously difficult to own a bunch of old cars, so that people are members there, and they get kind of that experience. But Jimmy used to work there. I asked the owner if you remember Jimmy, and he was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "What is he up to now?" I was like, much the same as he was when you knew him 15 years ago. Not a ton has changed.
Oh wow, was it that long ago?
I mean, it was probably 10, 15 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was when Jimmy was in college, or just after college.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that was cool. Hung out there for a long time. Got to know the owner. Super cool guy. And then went and walked around. I was like, it's like I'm not going back to the auto show. Like I walked back to the auto show and like poked my head back in, and I was like, there's nobody here. I've already seen all the cars twice, and so I just walked around Manhattan.
You weren't far from it. You could have gone to the Vessel, man. You were pretty close.
Oh God.
What's the
no,
Vessel?
No. We can't let Rory go to the Vessel. He's there's already enough of the vibes following him.
No, I walked right past the Vessel
God.
twice.
Good.
Yeah, no,
Well.
that was my the subway stop I took in, and then actually I went by it 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I didn't feel the pull of the Vessel.
Well, you can't go up it anymore.
Yeah.
Too many
people were like, oh yeah.
Too many people got the vibe. Yeah, no, I walked past it a bunch, but I did not go inside. I walked around, just kind of bebopping until it was time to get back on the airplane. I tried to change my flight to leave early, because I was in such a sour mood, and then it wasn't happening. So I just went and hung out. Finally, it got to the point where it was time to get to the air. Like I hate, even in this situation where I had nothing to do and I was just waiting around, I could not bring myself to go to the airport early. So I just literally walked around until it was like an acceptable, like, okay, I'm a little bit late to go to the airport now. And then went, but got home at 4 a.m. So total trip time with 0 sleep of 26 hours. Maybe my bleakest ever trip to New York, for sure. But got to see that. Actually, seeing the IMSA car was really cool. And I mean, it's fucking wild. Looks even wilder in person. But yeah, that's the report.
I'm excited about the K4 hatch.
It was sweet. Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean,
I really, because that's the hatch version of the K4 that they've been selling like for 6 months, a year now.
Yeah.
And I see those all over town. Like they're super popular here. And it's one of those cars that like, it's like in pictures it looks funky, and it has some just kind of like deliberately weird
Yeah.
kind of choices styling wise, like around the kind of the D pillar and but in a weird way, like that design is kind of like, it's kind of like strangely cohesive, like those odd details, like they don't distract me from like the overall form of the car, which doesn't come across in pictures as well, but when you see it in real life, like it's actually like, I think, a pretty striking and cool car, especially for a car that's just like total, cheapo, like bottom of the barrel commodity car. I think they're kind of cool, and the hatch just looks that much funkier and cooler.
Yeah, it looks awesome in person. I mean, I would say like it is a very attractive like bread vanny shape in person, and there is a 190 horsepower option, 195 foot-pounds, but it's auto only, I believe. There's no manual, which is a huge bummer because it would be awesome to see this kind of take the spot of the GTI as that has gone.
Yeah, make a hot hatch
only
version. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could really, it wouldn't be hard to just put the Elantra N's powertrain in this car.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm sure that's like very, very straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, super cool. That was, I mean, honestly, kind of like, aside from seeing the race car, that was kind of the highlight of the show for me. It was certainly like the car that I was most excited to see.
Yeah. Were there any other like notable electric debuts there, or like isn't there some like new electric Kia or Hyundai that is maybe
there was the Subaru Trail Seeker or whatever, Seeker, yeah, which is like the lengthened Solterra, more
right, we were talking about that.
Off-road oriented, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think there was really anything else on site, unfortunately. Yeah. No, nothing new. But I don't know. I hate to see the auto show. The consensus seems to really be that that it's over. Like the auto show is a dead. This is kind of a relic. Obviously, there are like the Kia, Hyundai, Genesis Triumvirate is still invested in it. Like they're pretty consistently the only ones like bringing new stuff and like concepts to shows now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just does not seem to have a ton of momentum. I talked to some buddies in LA who are working with the LA Auto Show now, and I think like they're kind of in the process of like making it more of a car culture thing and more of a local car culture event versus like an automaker event.
Yeah. No, that's smart.
Which is smart because it's like you kind of have to, like the automakers aren't involved. So
yeah,
there just was not much activity. I mean, even like most of the there was a Volkswagen Tiguan with like 268 horsepower with like the Volkswagen GTI setup in it, which that was there also. But the
well, I'm sure that was generating a lot of excitement.
The most car-shaped car I've seen in quite a while. I was like, "What's the Tiguan?" I was like, "Oh yeah, okay."
I mean, how much does the regular one have?
No idea. How would you know?
I mean, I would just guess that I would guess that would just even be the standard for just a big, heavy. I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's not that big.
That's a little guy, yeah.
Mid-size, yeah.
But I mean, even most of the regular like mainline automakers did not have space there. They had like some of their dealers would bring out some cars or whatever, but like there were not PR people there. It was kind of bleak.
Yeah.
So yeah, the auto show. I mean, it was not kind of bleak. It was probably the bleakest 26-hour experience that I've had in recent memory.
Well, there is another auto show going on. I think it started today.
Ooh.
That is, I feel like I'm just doing a self parody now. It's in Shanghai.
Let's go! I knew it. Let's go. What do they got?
And yeah, I mean, it says more than 70 Chinese and international automotive brands will showcase more than 100 new or refreshed models at the Shanghai Auto Show this week, intensifying already cutthroat competition in the world's premier market for EVs and hybrids. No shortage of news coming out of there. This is from a Reuters story. The thing that's kind of most interesting about this, there's a couple of stories. This one that Jalopnik actually picked up points out that, and it's funny because I like literally just today when I was out walking, I was thinking about like autonomous cars, the future, the future of autonomy and or our pursuit thereof. And I mean, we've been talking a bit about how pretty much everybody over here, kind of aside from, delusional
Waymo.
Tesla, well, I guess, and Waymo, who, yeah, well, I guess, yeah, I should, but a lot of like the big manufacturers are kind of like bowing out, right?
They're done. Yeah.
They're dipping out of that race, and kind of as of like a few months ago, I mean, there was a lot of stuff about how BYD had just rolled out this, what do they call it? God's Eye.
The celestial eye.
Right. Celestial Eye, God's Eye, whatever you want to call it. Translate it. A suite of kind of, like higher level autonomous features. And I remember us talking at the time, and I was kind of speculating. It's like, well, this will be the interesting thing, because it's like, I mean, we know just based on China's track record that it's like if there's a technological goal and they're going to throw everything they have at it, like they're kind of the ones who can do it at this point. Just have the institutional muscle and kind of political will to make those things happen. Versus like the idea of like, well, if it doesn't have the potential to be a real thing, they also have the regulatory apparatus in place to just like shut that shit down immediately when they see that it is posing a danger to its populace.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't think we talked about it, but a few weeks ago there was a story about an accident involving one of those Xiaomi SU7 cars, EVs. That it was an accident, 3 women in the car, and apparently it was in like it's whatever it's called, self-driving mode, hands-off mode, and it was in an accident, and all 3 of them were killed. And whereas when that happens here, everybody just kind of shrugs and it's just like, well, oh well. There it was like a pretty huge deal, and to the point where, per this Reuters story coming out of the auto show, apparently the yeah, Chinese government is cracking down on marketing claims using such terms as smart or autonomous. Yeah, it sounds like everybody's just backing away from it very quickly. and yeah, I'm not finding like the quote that I was looking for, but yeah, resulting government scrutiny has Chinese automakers such as BYD and Zeekr scrambling to revise their marketing presentations, veering away from boasts about automated driving capabilities and instead emphasizing driver caution. So, yeah, maybe that Chinese regulators in February also prohibited car makers from installing over-the-air software updates to driver assistance software without government approval, which impacted Tesla. Yeah, so just interesting to see how these things are playing out on that side of
it's funny because it's like, the big argument against that kind of stuff in the States is always like, oh, you don't want to stifle any innovation, like you don't want to. It's like Tesla is operating in China. I mean, they're not competitive because their cars are old now, but they're operating there fine under a much heavier handed regulatory structure. You know what I mean? Like it's not causing them to not be able to do business there, or any of the other companies there. Kevin is at Shanghai Auto Show now. We should have him on,
cool.
Nice.
for a recap.
Bring Kevin back.
Yeah. Bring Kevin back. We did forget a couple of things. There's a New York Auto Show. Yes, we may have forgotten the Hyundai Palisade, a refresh. We may have forgotten the Kia EV9 Nightfall Edition. We may have forgotten a bunch of other stuff. But what more importantly, we did forget the Stronger Than the 80s edition, Stronger Than the 1980s edition G-Wagon. Do you guys know about this car?
No.
So I missed it.
G-Wagon, wonderful machine. One of those cars, I hate to say it, I do love a G-Wagon, despite, kind of the people who buy them for the most part.
For people who are unfamiliar, what is the Mercedes Geländewagen?
The G-Class, or Geländewagen, was a car that Mercedes built to win a military contract from, I believe, who's our guy with the green book? Hillary Clinton killed him.
Oh, Muammar Gaddafi?
With the green?
Yeah, I believe. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, notably, a totally legal thing that happened that the Office of Legal Counsel made a funny ruling on based on, I don't know, a previous phone call they had decided was legal precedent, that that didn't constitute an act of war. A totally legal thing we did.
So, no, it was actually the Shah of Iran.
Oh,
Sorry.
Also people
guy.
that we've committed various sanctions-based
Crimes.
human rights abuses against. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it was developed as a military vehicle on a suggestion by the Shah. Did not actually end up selling to the Shah, but was used as a military truck. It's a very upright. Everyone's seen them. They're very upright and boxy SUV, and very famously, used the exact same body work from 1979 until, I don't know, 2022, 2023, a few years ago. And the current one really looks exactly the same. You'd have a hard time telling the difference. It's got some
if you don't know, if you don't know what you're looking for, you will not be able to tell the difference between the new one and the old one.
It is mechanically quite different. And the interior is a lot different. The old one, the funny thing about the old one is it was this incredible status symbol, and $100 and something thousand. But you could buy in Europe, you could buy a stick shift diesel one for $50-60 grand. But in the States, they were all 100,000 and up, mostly bought as AMGs, which with the big motor and way too much power for the for the design, which is basically a truck. But the funny thing about them is like the interior got beefier and comfier over time, and it got safer. Like the thickness of the walls got thicker, but the actual dimensions of the car couldn't grow because they were using the same body from 1979. So it was like the later ones were like super cramped. So you'd buy this like big, super, expensive luxury car, and it was like tight as a drum in there. It was really, really small, at least for me. But the new one has been updated, a little bit less hardcore. But they came out with this, maybe the worst name for a car that I've ever seen, which is the highly exclusive Mercedes G-Class Edition, all caps, stronger than the 1980s, which I don't know what that means. I don't.
1980s. I gotta see this.
I was looking that up. Mercedes used to have a stronger than time thing in their marketing. And I guess that's sort of where that comes from.
But why? I mean, it is an 80s style G-Wagon, and it comes in these cool 80s colors.
Yeah.
I like the color. That green is great.
Yeah, it's got a black plastic, like a matte grill. It's got the fender mounted indicators, like turn signals, and it looks incredible. It's really, really cool. On the dash, there is like an embossed stronger than the 1980s on like one of the grab bars in the passenger side. It is just such a strange turn of phrase. Stronger. It's like I don't know that anyone ever like refers to the 1980s as particularly strong as a decade, or like what it would even mean to be stronger than a decade.
Strikes me as
It
like
feels
a weird
like
Cold
something
War
that-
dog whistle.
But it's cool.
It's
isn't
got,
it?
yeah, it's got to be like some kind of. It's like lost. There's something lost in translation here. It's got to refer to some German thing.
But yeah, it's cool. There's a agave green, which is like a pea green kind of, or maybe agave if you're into that. There's like a cream, and then there's a Colorado beige. But it looks sick. I mean, it's certainly the coolest modern G-Wagon special edition by a long shot. And it's got plaid seats, more importantly. But yeah, just a bizarre name. We love it.
I think they should roll out stronger than the 80s editions of all their cars,
I would
all their
agree with
vehicles.
That'd be rad. It's obviously tough because this is the only one that really looks like it could be
Like-
from the 80s.
It's strong.
Yeah. It's got what the overland community refers to as a whittle ladder on the back, which is like the ladder that you used to climb up onto the roof rack.
Delightful.
Whittle ladder.
Well,
Whittle ladder.
exactly what the American economy needs at this very moment is a car with a $200,000 MSRP. Sounds good.
Is that what it is?
That's what I
200,000?
saw on Google just now, but it's popping up in the article preview. Car scoops here.
Good for them. I mean, as we've discussed,
Everyone's already
those
over
are
leveraged. May as well.
Those are the only cars that you'll buy. Got to be six figures, and those are the cars that sell. It's just the market, man. Anyway, hopefully, I was going to say hopefully I'll get one as a press car, but that is unlikely.
Hey, just start pitching Alloy, man.
Oh, that's right.
Rory Carroll from Alloy.
From Alloy.
Alloy.
Give me
On
your
my Patreon.
yeah.
I mean, that would probably work fine, to be honest.
Yeah, why not?
I've seen
Shoot a shot.
press cars given away for less. But anyway, pretty cool. I was excited about it. They did sell them under the Puch name for a little while because they're made by Steyr Daimler Puch in Graz,
Right.
Austria,
Right.
who have made some really cool off-roaders and I believe built the Jeep Grand Cherokee for a minute.
Oh, is that right? They also made that. What's the
Sniper rifle
other?
that ended up,
What's the other weird kind of like insanely capable
The
off-road.
Pinzgauer?
Yes.
Yeah. Pinzgauer,
those-
and there's a
those things are
Haflinger, which
sick.
is the Pinzgauer is like a huge box, and the Haflinger is like a little Jeep-sized mid-engine truck, but it's like a all open. They're super. It's like for ranching if you live in Deutschland. Also, very famously, Steyr. You guys, I don't know if you remember this, but they also built the
Steyr.
Fiat Panda. Steyr. They also built the Fiat Panda 4x4, which are super cool. That is, Maddie, that is a car for you, if there's ever been a car for you.
Let's see. Fiat Panda 4x4.
Yeah.
I'm
That's a
Googling.
Giugiaro.
I'm image searching right now. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's Giugiaro, of course. So it's right up your alley.
Old man Giorgetto knows what I like. Oh my God, look at that.
David E. Davis famously had a Pinzgauer up here.
Yeah.
Or a Haflinger.
It's just it's a shape that I think a car should be. I just love it.
Yes.
It's just that's right.
Box
That's
hatch.
exactly
They're
right.
all over in Italy. But Steyr, very famously, do you guys remember that during the Iraq War there was that big controversy where a bunch of like super capable like 50 caliber sniper rifles ended up in Iran and then ended up in the hands of some insurgent type guys?
I just
No.
assume that's all the time.
Yeah.
Steyr got in trouble.
That
was
that
the-
seems.
a day ending in Y.
Oh.
Steyr got in trouble for that. Let's see if I can find that. Oh wow! I didn't know this. I'm clicking around trying to find information about this gun. In 1917, Steyr recruited Hans Ludwinka.
That's our dude who was he
Invented
was
Tatra.
the yeah
And
Czech
who
guy.
also, everybody kind of blames, everybody kind of says that Ferdinand Porsche stole the Beetle design from this guy, this Czech guy.
yeah
Hans Ludwinka.
Yeah.
Fun name to say. But let me find, sorry, I just got to find the information about this, the rifle situation. Let's see, Third Reich.
Well, while you do that, I'm gonna drop a link in here to another fun story. Yeah, well, speaking of Ferdinand Porsche and Germany kind of reclaiming the strength of the 80s.
Oh fuck. Now what?
Or bettering it. This is a great story that ran in the Telegraph last week. German car giants shake off their Nazi past to prepare for war. and it's basically a big story about how as this kind of process of deindustrialization that has been going on in Germany for the last few years, especially since the beginning of the Russian. What's the funny term that they use for the war in Ukraine? It's like
The war of northern aggression.
no, it's like what do they call it? A special military operation or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. The SMO. Anyway, yeah, that kind of when they lost their cheap oil line, things in Germany went kind of pear-shaped. But that's okay because now a lot of their kind of idled car factories are being retooled to make weapons.
It all kind of worked out.
Yeah, Porsche SE, which is the kind of parent holding company of Porsche. Their main investments today include a 32% stake in Volkswagen. In addition to the flagship brands, the company's automotive empire also spans Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Skoda, and Seat, but these have been struggling of late. Meanwhile, a major German rearmament push has taken place following Russia's invasion of Ukraine and Donald Trump's election as U.S. president. Friedrich Merz, Germany's incoming chancellor, secured support in March for an easing of his country's long-standing debt brake, turning the taps on for 500 billion euros of infrastructure spending and for any defense spending above 1% of GDP to be exempt from borrowing restrictions. And there's a lot of fun stuff in this story about Ferdinand Porsche and his early his kind of early connections to the Nazis that they kind of tend to gloss over these days. But yeah, Rheinmetall, which is Europe's biggest producer of ammunition, has already revealed plans to turn automotive component factories in Berlin and Neuss into hybrid hubs that will become part of its weapons and munitions business.
Cool. So it was the Steyr HS-50, and they figured out that 12% of the rifles that they had legally sold to Iran had ended up in Iraq. They're like a $20,000 50 caliber anti-material rifle, so like a massive sniper rifle. Which also, not to get too deep into it, unlicensed variants of the HS-50 include the AM-50 Sayyad, produced by Iran currently, and the Golan S-01, produced by Syria, and the Al-Ghul rifle, produced by the Al-Qassam brigades. So that's a little trivia, a little rifle trivia on the that'll be on the end of your quiz for the pod.
Those rifles, they get around.
Yeah, man.
They do.
It's funny how
that happens.
50 cal, yeah. Anyhow,
the French
that's great.
should have gone through with their plan to divide Germany into as many tinier states as possible. We should have let them do it. They should do it here too, but might be a good idea.
There's a little bit more from this story.
Sure.
Last week, the chief executive of Rheinmetall, Armin Popperger, also toured Volkswagen's underutilized plant in Osnabrück, northwest Germany, to discuss its potential for defense production. Volkswagen has also expressed openness to considering defense production, but suggested it would wait to be approached by military partners. Moving the Porsche family's existing businesses into defense at this late stage is likely to be risky, however. More likely, Tourdor believes, is that the clan will seek to expand its holdings in defense startups and contractors through targeted investments. There's a certain degree of myopia and desperation, he says. There are plenty of other German defense companies, including quite a few that are doing well in the space and have an innovation lead on car makers. So investing in German defense startups should be easier in many ways than re-rigging existing industrial sites. The thing that's just it's just like another just kind of funny unintended consequences, blowback, whatever you want to call it, thing of like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like tariff the world and we've already kind of decimated Germany economically in the last few years by blowing up their pipelines and whatnot, and now threatening these tariffs and it's like, well, what else can we do? But we have to reinvest and and rearm.
This is all very
great.
normal. We're having normal times.
I mean, it is historically. This is pretty normal, but
yeah,
you
no,
know,
it's happened. It's happened a number of times before.
Don't like it.
yeah.
What was unusual
never-
was that there was a long period where it didn't happen.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Should know. Should know. Germany should not be
Yeah.
able to do any of that. I don't think. I don't like that. Stop
it's,
that.
It doesn't usually end great. It has not ended great historically, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I
Could be
guess
good.
this time, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we will finally end up all speaking German.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be enough Wiedersehen from me on that one, I think.
I have a story about going electric,
Ooh.
oh yeah, let's hear it.
but it's not a car.
Is it about Bob Dylan?
No,
From
no.
the
It's
movie?
it is about it is about like electric versus like internal combustion, but it is not in the realm of cars. Can you guess what my new electric?
Is it a lawnmower?
It is a lawnmower.
Ooh, how is
hear about
it? This
I had
is
to get a
some
lawnmower.
Frio dad talk.
When we moved into this house, I got a couple of cheap lawnmowers just off Craigslist, and fucked them up because we have a couple of like giant ass roots in our backyard, and that like stick pretty high and stick out of the ground pretty high, and the first lawnmower that I got, I think I ran over it and just like and the thing is, like, it didn't just bend the blade. Like, I mean, I know you can replace like a blade or just like, you know, fucking bend it back or whatever. But it actually bent the shaft, like the crankshaft, like the thing that the blade attaches to.
I've done that before. Yeah.
And like at which point it's kind of like, yeah,
Trash.
This is toast. And so I got another one, and of course did the exact same thing. And at that point I was just like, you know what?
I need to buy a more expensive version of this.
No, it was the opposite.
Okay.
It's just like, because I mean, half the time during grass cutting times of the year, I was away. And so I would always like be coming home to just like, you know, like a lawn that's just like out of control. Because my wife, she's not the lawn mowing type. And so I did the bougie thing and just like paid landscapers. And they would come like once a week, and it was fine because I didn't have to worry about it, and I felt like I was, you know, kind of betraying my working class roots, but fucking whatever. And so that was the case up through last summer, and then kind of during the off season, at some point I realized, like, that shit has like the cost of the guys coming to mow has just been going up and up and up, you know, which, like, I mean, that's fine, that's fair. But it's like, it's a fucking lot of money. It's like hundreds of dollars,
Yeah.
you know? And just doing the mental math, and it's like, well, now I'm home. I don't really have any excuse not to. And so I was looking at lawnmowers online, and it's like, oh, there's the whole, like, you can get these ones where it's just like a battery pack, and it seems like, and we don't have like a giant ass lawn. I mean, it's like, you know, it'll take you maybe half an hour to do it. So I don't, you know, I don't need like a giant, crazy
Tractor.
expensive, you know, thing. I just have to keep it away from the roots. But yeah, so I bought, I got like a, you know, $400 electric lawnmower that seemed to be pretty highly rated. And
Is it an Ego?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seem to be the popular ones around here.
Yeah. And I didn't go with pusher or anything. It's like, no, I don't need, I just went with the pretty basic one. But yeah, I took it for a spin yesterday. I mean, the grass has been growing. It was getting to a point where it was like, all right, there's some patches of clover and stuff that going a little bit crazy. And yeah, and I took it out yesterday afternoon and mowed my lawn for the first time in many years. And it was fine. It was great.
I hate mowing the lawn. But I think like a big part of the reason why I hate it is because of the experience of like, I love gas things. I love gas motors. I have like a number of like tools or whatever that like should not be. I famously have a gas powered cell phone charger in the garage. That is like a little tiny gas motor and a little generator that it burns like RC plane gas, and it stings your eyes, and it's so bad when it runs. It's so funny. And I wrote
is it like an RC like motor?
Yeah.
Is it like one of those little like tiny like,
it's like
cocks?
the size of a shot glass? Yeah.
Oh my god, hell yeah.
I think I did a Gizmodo or a Jalopnik post on it, and it was like people did not get it. It was like
genius is rarely recognized in its time, Rory.
Yeah. It was like I think, let's see. Gas. I think the original headline was gas powered phone chargers are here, but they might not be your best option. If you're thinking you'll charge your new iPhone 15 with nitromethane fuel, read this first. And it's just like a totally straight review of like the process of running it's like, it's hard to get it started, and you have to buy a separate fuel, and like it doesn't charge as fast as a normal wall charger. But anyway,
can I briefly interrupt just for a story like of the thing that I associate forever those little Cox motors with is and I mean this is such a remnant of like the far distant past, right? I think that most people alive now can't even fucking like conceive of this, of like why somebody would do this. But when I was like a small child, my dad, who's like he's a mechanic. He's like a, tinkerer and kind of, he had all his tools in the garage and everything. But he had one of these before radio controlled planes were a thing.
Oh yeah, the rope ones.
Yeah. So he had like this plane where it was, it's like a model plane. It's made out of plastic. It's like, I don't know, probably 2 foot wingspan. It was purple, and it kind of was vaguely shaped like a P-51. And it had this little, like tiny fucking, like you say, shot glass. I mean, it was smaller than a shot glass, like this tiny ass little air-cooled Cox motor that, and it would start up and just be like, I mean, it was just like the, but yeah, and that, it was a gas powered, just like spinning this fucking like tiny like this plastic propeller that like the propeller is maybe like 5 inches across, and then he would go out into the street, and like, I mean, how long is the it's like it's like flying a kite, except it's like the string or the I mean, I remember it just being like almost like just twine, just attached to like, and there's like 2 of them, so they're attached to the near end of the wing, and you just go out in the street and you just like spin around in circles, just
they still do it.
and just like making yourself dizzy.
They go super fast. There's like
I mean, that's the thing. It's like you have to be spinning at the center of it while they do go fast. He would do it. He would do it for like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, and he would have to just. And I guess it must have had like a throttle cable too, because you could kind of, or did you just have to? Was there some?
Until it runs out.
is that what it was? That could have been, yeah.
There are videos on YouTube of them going like faster, like so fast you can't see them. They're like, and they hook them to a pole, and they just like really, really cool.
But yeah, okay.
Let me read a passage of this now that I found it.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay. As far as negatives, it's a little bulkier than the standard iPhone charger, and it requires nitromethane fuel, which you may not have on hand, but is available online and at most hobby stores. I found a gallon of it for about $30 at Trains and Things Hobbies. It's not cheap.
A gallon.
Yeah, and it's made worse by the fact that the phone charger is surprisingly inefficient. A full tank of fuel lasted about 12 minutes and got my old iPhone 8 to about 6% battery. Some of that could be limitations on my old phone's charging speed. Another shortcoming, at least with my particular phone charger.
What was a full tank of fuel? How big was a tank?
2 shots, like a it's like a
so
little
not
tiny.
that much. Yeah.
Another shortcoming, at least with my particular phone charger, is that a fair amount of oil comes out of the exhaust when it runs, usually pooling on the table next to the exhaust outlet and spattering everything nearby. This isn't a huge concern in my shop, which is already pretty grimy. I could see it becoming an annoyance in an overly stuffy office environment or an operating room. A quick forum search suggests that my phone charger could be running a bit rich, and that it's normal for some of the oil from the nitro fuel to make it out of the exhaust. The exhaust is a bit louder than a standard iPhone charger, and it does sting the eyes a bit. Maintaining a charge discipline all day with this charger will take a level of dedication. I could see myself getting used to running the motor on my desk through the workday, possibly with a respirator or a vent system. It could also be seen as a kind of aggressive white noise generator. All the comments are like, "Are you having a stroke? Are you okay?"
Maddie, you're gonna have to. There's a video embedded here. You're gonna have to pull the audio from that.
Some people just prefer the sound of a gas engine when they're charging their phone, and some don't. It goes without saying that under the right circumstances, a nitro-powered charger could be a real lifesaver.
But that's so good. How did I not see that story? That was only just like 2 years ago.
It didn't click very well, I have to say.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, he's traveling. He's motoring.
But I do love the gas stuff, but all of my leaf blowers are now all electric. And I don't have a lawnmower currently because we have too much lawn.
It's a lot of lawn.
It's really like a once a year type situation where we just pay someone to do it, which may not be happening this year. But the electric stuff is great, and I will, like, my chainsaws are still gas because if you're doing a lot of sawing, you need it just takes a lot of batteries to do that. But it's so nice to just be able to turn it on and not have to fight with the fucking pull cord and like, is the mixture right? And like, I'm happy for you. I'm very excited. I hope you don't.
Yeah, it was just super easy. And, I have one of my batch of new songs is about, it's kind of clowning on, my neighbors and all of their leaf blowers and lawn blowers and snow blowers and do you know what it's called? The title? Two-stroke solution. Two-stroke solution.
It's very good.
It's good.
It's very good. Big fan.
Very good.
Is that for pod? Do we get to do a little teaser?
I can tease that. Yeah, sure. Why not?
We're teasing. If you've made it this far, well, you fucking deserve it. I'll tell you that. You can get a little. Little secret.
That's your little treat for sticking with all of my edits to make all of that nice and neat and fun.
Yeah.
The I forgot about the iPhone charger actually has electric start. You flip a switch and it'll start the motor. The only issue is you have to preheat the glow plug, so it's a glow plug motor, so it's like a diesel, but you've got it's like a separate device that heats the glow plug before you can start it. So it's really not all that practical.
And
Quite a
what is that
contraption.
powered by?
Yeah.
You plug it into a USB. It's got its own little battery.
So you the gas powered phone charger. You have to start by plugging it into a USB.
No. You plug a separate device. It looks like a pen into the USB, and that charges that up. And then you can take that separately, so no longer plugged into the USB.
Sure.
And then
Okay.
That preheats the glow plug. So like you could do it in a field somewhere if you had to, like a couple.
As
times.
long as that thing was fully charged.
Yes.
But the USB port
Okay.
that you charge the initial device off of, you could also plug the phone into theoretically.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what else we got?
That's probably enough. I'm just curious. Did you guys watch Imola yesterday?
I heard that our man Ben Keating was in the points, and that Valentino Rossi and co just missed out on first in LMGT3.
Yeah. At home
penalty.
in Italy, which people. I mean, so yeah, second race of the WEC season, and Ferrari won unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
Although they didn't dominate the way they did in Qatar. They had some issues, some things, but yeah, pretty dominant performance from the 51 car. But what was interesting and notable was that the rest of the podium, Ferrari first, but BMW came in second. And the other car looked pretty strong. Just had some race incidents, but was also very quick. And Alpine rounding out the podium. So some kind of like just like encouraging signs that it's like, yeah, this is no longer just I mean, as people predicted coming into the season, a little bit there's some more players getting up there. Cadillac was after looking really strong in Qatar, looking like pretty much the only cars that could actually give Ferrari a run for their money, and then kind of took themselves out by crashing into each other. Yesterday did not look like they kind of had nothing. Pretty disappointing.
Wasn't there another crash?
Cadillac wise?
In
Oh, there might have been in qualifying. Yeah, there. I think one of the cars went off, but it just seemed like they didn't have much pace. Yeah, strange. Like, I mean, it's funny. Like, and kind of in IMSA too. Like, Cadillacs have not been having a ton of success so far this year with their new operating teams. Wayne Taylor in IMSA and Hertz Team Jota in the WEC. So kind of concerning for fans of the Cadillac brand.
Yeah.
They're probably got a lot of F1. Everyone's probably moved on to F1 now. They're just kind of chilling.
You think they're just gonna?
No. Yeah.
They're just gonna blow it off.
Yeah.
They got senioritis.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun race. I watched most of it. Seems like that would be a fun one to go to. Looks like a really cool track.
I was
feel like
laying on the ground, turning the F-150 engine by hand instead of watching the race.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the race and then I mowed my lawn to redeem myself.
Yeah.
The next nice long-ish endurance race for IMSA, because we've got the shorter ones at Monterey and Detroit, right? But then we get 6 hours at the Glen. That'll be fun. Get a little scene report from Watkins Glen later this year.
Oh yeah. When is that Detroit race?
May 30th, 31st.
Yeah, it's the weekend after Indy.
Yeah, I would, except I have a family thing that weekend. Bummer.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I would come to that because I want to.
Maddie, you should come.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You guys should go.
We should go.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. We should go for sure.
Get a press pass.
I'll probably have to work Friday, but I could go Saturday.
Oh, look at you. Look at you, Mr.
Back on the night shift, baby.
I'll probably be working. Ha ha ha. Very, very nice. Probably be
bragging about it.
Back to manual labor, baby. Put my steel toes on and get back in there.
Enviable.
Got a little stay tired for our nice folks at home.
We'll be stay tired.
Stay tired, everybody.
Hey, tired listeners, a little production note from your producer pal, Maddie. The music you heard under our Wikipedia reading bit was Bossa Antigua. That is by Kevin MacLeod, creator of many royalty-free tracks that you've heard in lots of projects on the internet by now, probably. His website is incompetech.com. That's INCOMPETECH, incompetech.com. A lot of music available under Creative Commons. You can mess with it, do funny stuff with it. Thank you, Kevin, for your support of all kinds of audio-visual stuff on the internet. And the other track you heard for a Peter's read by a project called Frugivore, who are on Bandcamp. That's Frugivore. That's me and Peter's good buddy, Ben Lauren, consummate professional mountain goats roadie, all-around sweetheart. That track is called Sarin Gas. That's from an album called Void.